May 29th, 2021 at about 6:46 a.m. here in Klamath Falls, Oregon. This is my hometown. I got to move back. And I paid my house off in cash. So I don't need to make money off YouTube with my videos because I'm a retired military veteran. I paid my house off in cash because of a long story, okay, which was I married into a toxic relationship 4 years ago uh, because I had no self esteem. Okay. Self esteem is self love. We have to have self esteem to function in society. Okay. That's the way God intended it. And if you don't believe in God, call it goodness. It's the same thing. God and goodness are the same. That's what I believe. And I found myself with self esteem, which fills that void we all have right here. Um, because I found a book in a box at my son's house, looking for a coffee cup after I left my toxic marriage. November 2nd, 2020. I'll never forget the day I left. Uh, and I ended up leaving everything except for a few clothes, my three cats, a van, an old 1987 Dodge van, and a 1987 Prowler 24-foot trailer. I'll never forget the day, okay, when I left the marriage because it was abusive relationship, because I had no self-esteem, because of my past sexual abuse as a child, which started my road to no self-esteem for 65 years, because I'm 65 now. I ended up at my son's house looking for a coffee cup, and in the box I found a book. It's called The Portable Therapist. It's by a doctor of psychology. Her name's Susanna McMahon. And in one concept in the book that I'm now putting on YouTube, teaching self-esteem and self-love, is mirror therapy. All you got to do to attain self-esteem very quickly is look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. And keep saying it for the rest of your life. That's it. And then this book will be in the link in the description of this video down there. Get the book, folks. It'll change your life. But you can attain self-esteem, self-love very easily, and everybody has made it complicated on YouTube and on the internet. I'm the absolute only one teaching how simple it is. And there's many more concepts in this book that will make you have a healthy mind, okay? It's not come from Douglas Bickford. It's coming from a psychologist, a psychiatrist who knows the brain. She went to school between 8 and 10 years to get her doctorate in psychology, okay? But she's nowhere to be found but you have to read the book and you have to get the book to understand. But you can actually attain self-esteem right now. As soon as you see me say that, go say it in the mirror and keep saying it. And don't let anybody tell you that it's wrong or anything. Just keep saying it no matter what people say to you. But my advice is don't even tell them. Don't tell anybody you're doing it. Because people think you're crazy. You might think I'm crazy just by telling you that and turn me off after I say that to you. But that's okay because you weren't meant for the message. Because I believe God lives in us. And what that does is it makes you realize that God lives in you. And then you'll appreciate all the little things in life that 99.9% of people take for granted, which is hot and cold running water, another day to breathe, another day of life, all the little animals running around and the flowers and all the beautiful things that people don't even notice. because they're too busy on Facebook or whatever social media outlet they go to, trying to make themselves feel better by trying to attain happiness by watching other people. Okay. But you can attain happiness from inside. And that's the only place you can get it. It has to come from you. And by saying I love you in the mirror will get you that. Anyway, I'm going through the book, The Portable Therapist, chapter by chapter, and here's chapter 61. Why do I feel I am not here or anywhere? People who have learned to be codependent, chronically depressed, insecure, or who have focused all their energies on externals have spent years not being aware of themselves in relationship to their environments. For these people, it is a very familiar symptom not to feel a part of anything, not to feel a belongingness anywhere, and in fact, to feel they just barely exist. By refusing to take care of ourselves, to put ourselves first, and to know what we want and where we are literally taking ourselves out of the picture. Our feeling of not being here or anywhere is an accurate reflection of what we have done to our self-esteem. By not being centered and aware of ourselves in this world, we can easily lose sight of our centers and our awareness of the world. It is a terrible feeling to go through the motions and not feel connected or a real part of what is going on. What is being described can be thought of as being psychologically lost. The solution is similar to what you do when you're physically lost. You ask for help. You ask someone to guide you to familiar territory. You get directions that you can follow, and then you act. You leave where you are lost and go to where you know. In the situation where you are psychologically lost, you must go to a place that you may not know, the center of yourself. In this case, you cannot find yourself by seeking a familiar environment. Often, that is what causes you to live in the past, which is where you were before you felt lost. Or you may try to return to the last familiar place before you felt lost. You cannot go back to the past, and you cannot recreate it. And if you do succeed in returning to a familiar place, you may quickly find that it has changed, and that place cannot cure your feelings of being lost. There is only one cure, and that is to discover yourself within yourself. All paths lead to the center, and this center can be found wherever you are. And once you have found your center, you will never be afraid of being psychologically lost again. I found my center. You know how I did it? By looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I love you. And I keep saying it. I say it more than once, but I add to it too. This like I will not live in the past. I will not live in the future. I'll live in the now. I'm a good father. I'm a good husband. I'm a good grandfather. And the more you say in the mirror to yourself, the more you will be more centered, and it will answer. You will get the cure for that feeling of being psychologically lost, which comes from in here. I came back to my hometown. Before I came back to my hometown, and I was not centered. I didn't find myself yet. Now I found myself, and I didn't have to come to my hometown to find myself because I found it before I came back. I happened to come back to my hometown after I found myself because that's what I wanted to do. I didn't come back to find myself. I found myself before I got here. Anyway, by looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I love you, it all started my path to filling this inner void that we all have. All paths lead to this center, and this center can be found wherever you are. And once you have found your center, you will never be afraid of being psychologically lost again, which is exactly what happens when you look at the mirror and say, I love you. You will know that you can feel belongingness wherever you may be because you feel it within yourself. Follow the steps outlined for developing self-esteem. Focus on the internals. Do not panic. Go slowly, and you will soon feel familiar with the process of discovering who and what you really are. The more you practice self-esteem, the more secure you become in yourself, man. That is so true because that's what I've been doing for about 6 months now. And I'm like flying. I'm just like, I mean, most of the time I'm happy because I have the feeling of being secure from inside. I mean, it's amazing what has happened to me. And anybody can get it. I mean, literally, anybody can get it. You don't have to be a believer in God. You can get that secure feeling from inside. Do not panic. Go slowly. You soon feel familiar with the process of discovering who and what you really are. The more you practice self-esteem, the more secure you become with yourself. The more centered you feel, the more aware you will be of your presence in the world. You will begin to know where you are at all times, and you will feel that you belong even in unfamiliar settings. Your inner self will become your familiar and comfortable home. Wow. Get the book, folks. It's in the link. Read the book for yourself, but start the process by saying, I love you in the mirror, and do it every day and don't ever stop. I'll have another chapter for you here soon. You all have a great day out there.